So we're now on to the third pet peeve topic of Dr. Cho's, and that's guerrilla marketing. And that people like to say they know guerrilla marketing, but do they really? I was talking with this one person who said, oh, I'm an expert at guerrilla marketing. And what he did was throw a McDonald's sign over a Taco Bell sign. Well, is that really guerrilla marketing? So far we've talked about promotion and how promotion impacts the steps we go through, which we call the funnel. And that promotion is basically supported by brand. That's the form that our promotion takes. And also communication is a technique. Price is about driving perception. Distribution is who's doing the communicating to the customer. How do we touch the customer? And then product is how do I find those features which my customers are willing to pay for. And so all four of these elements have to play together. And so today we're going to talk about what is guerrilla marketing, how I design a campaign, how do I measure it, and some examples of what people have used. And primarily it's about creativity, but you still have to answer to certain performance metrics. And so by remembering what those metrics are, you can evaluate how good your campaign is. Now, why are we interested in it? It's because marketing is very expensive. When you sit down and think about it, what if I need people? Well, I have to fly those people around all over the places, or hotel rooms and everything, and plus I got to pay them salaries. That gets real expensive real fast. Even as we saw, it can cost you up to $10 a click on some of these pay services. In terms of personalized selling, where do they put that cost? Well, if you look at an income statement, they put it under SG&A, which is selling, general, and administrative. Typically, that's 20% of your revenue. However, when you're hands-on, it can be as high as 30%, and that's the pharma companies. Eli Lilly has 4,000 reps out there selling their drugs. And so companies are looking to get lean. How do we find more efficient and cheap ways to go about our marketing? And so different products have different strategies. For example, Windows 10, that's something that's brand new in technology. So what am I concerned about? Well, in this case, it's education, right? Think about what the things that you do to cross the chasm. And renewing for insurance policy, what's that about? Well, remember, people have inertial personalities that most people just don't care about it. And this is why Geico has all those funny commercials. They're trying to get you to act. They're trying to get you to remember what they did. What about B2B versus B2C? Well, the question is, whose customer are you going after? And that's where it's important to understand the value chain. For example, components typically do not capture the lion's share of profit. However, Intel did something that was really unique, and that's that they branded their product. And so on some of your computers, you might have Intel inside. And so what Intel is actually doing is they're marketing to their customer's customer. So all of a sudden now, people are interested in paying more for an Intel-based product. In terms of coming up with a guerrilla campaign, the first part is, what is my hypothesis? Why do I need a guerrilla campaign? What is it going to do? Who am I going after? So what's my landscape? What's my target market? How does this fit into the strategy of my 4 Ps? Meaning, yes, I might get great surprise or something like that, but if it damages the brand, then was it really worth it? And what resources can we bring to bear on this issue? And what's my risk? And that's that if you try to get too creative, you can end up shooting yourself in the foot. And so for a startup, the things you're looking at is, what's my added value? Essentially, what's my advantages of doing this? My issue is my customer doesn't know me. I'm high risk. And so The other issue I have is I have limited resources being a startup, and this is why so many startups resort to guerrilla marketing, because they just don't have it. What is guerrilla marketing? Guerrilla marketing actually refers to as little war, and that's that the way Ho Chi Minh, the way Mao, Michael Collins. For those of you who don't know Michael Collins is responsible for creating the Republic of Ireland. Basically, Michael Collins was a soldier in the Irish army, and then what happened is they took on the British and they got slaughtered. And so what did they do? They started going to guerrilla tactics, or some people would call them terrorist tactics. But guess what? That's what the little army has to do to beat the big army. Hit and run, be agile, have an impact. And the idea is that we're going to wear you down. And so what guerrilla marketing is, it's a promotional strategy that relies on unconventional techniques and is personable and memorable. And you can do it on the cheap. So in effect, your sweat and creativity is replacing budgets. And as we talked about, marketing is expensive. Customers inherently resist promotion. And so I need to come up with something that's going to be snazzy. But not only snazzy, but memorable. Because as some of you have already pointed out, advertising doesn't work that well. People forget about ads. And we have limited resources. So guerrilla marketing addresses these issues. We're creating a different kind of awareness. The awareness, we create different kinds of awareness. What do we want? We want reach. We want to be able to touch a lot of people. We want good quality in our promotions that say the right things, that people can believe. We want people to refer, that once they see this, they're going to tell other people about it. And we want to reach out to influencers, that if we get those people who are connected to a lot of other people, then we don't have to do as much work. And we'll talk about that actually in the next lecture about networks. And so here are the forms of communication that guerrilla marketing takes. One is ambush marketing. And what that means is you take advantage of something that already exists. Subversive marketing is you undermine standard convention. This is being edgy, and what you're trying to do is fight apathy. Viral marketing, and that's that you want something to spread. So this is about content, making a great video or something that people will share. And so I can get reach inexpensively. Grassroots is another approach, and that's basically about one customer at a time from the very bottom, and you hope those customers will diffuse out. You can have events, and they don't necessarily have to be physical events. They could be digital events. And like, for example, certain podcasts, streaming content. There are plenty of digital approaches. And then street marketing is those events that you take place in public. And so what you're trying to do is create something personal and fight apathy. And so a lot of you know of ASU events. Maybe somebody shows up there to try to do a promotion. These are the tenets behind guerrilla marketing. I'll let you read it on your own, but what it comes down to is we see the same concepts over and over again. And that's that. How do I amaze people? How do I measure this? How do I create a situation where I can get people's attention and be able to do it on the cheap? And so we'll talk about design